At my brother's engagement dinner, I nonchalantly produced an envelope containing a fully paid photographer's fee, the venue deposit, and a $5,000 starter check. Riley's fiancé offered me a patronizing smile and, loud enough for the whole table, murmured, "Oh, he's really trying to matter again." I slipped the envelope back into my coat, rose, and quietly said, "Let me try less." 10 minutes later, my phone buzzed. The venue had called Riley directly. "Date canceled, deposit forfeited, just like your rent," they said. Earlier that evening, I'd handed them that gold envelope. Inside, confirmation of a top-tier wedding photographer, proof of venue deposit for the very hall Riley had been obsessing over on Instagram, and my personal check for $5,000. A gift, not a loan. Tyler accepted it first, blinking as though it were foreign currency, then passed it to Riley as though it were unsolicited junk mail. She rifled through the receipts, lifted the check between her fingers like a discarded serviette, and deadpanned, "He's really desperate to be relevant." The table stayed silent. Silent, like my parents, who haven't held a job in years because I foot every bill, including that secret second mortgage they took out when Tyler needed seed money for his 6-week supplement startup. Silent, like Tyler, who once woke me at 3 a.m., sobbing over a maxed-out credit card loaded onto podcast equipment that never even recorded. Silent, even like Riley's parents, grinning across the table as though nothing had happened. I reached over, retrieved the envelope from Riley's hand, and tucked it back into my coat. "Let me try less," I repeated, then stood up and left without a theatrics, like I was stepping out of a dentist's office. Calm, composed, finished. In my car, I sat and watched my phone light up. One missed call, then another, then a text from the venue reminding me the deposit was non-refundable. Perfect. I never expected an immediate meltdown. I knew Tyler would still be grinning through it, Riley fuming, texting friends about my overreaction, my mother whispering about my sensitivity, my father double-checking the invoices to ensure no extra charges. What they didn't know is that I was done. This all started long before the envelope. It began when I was 16, got into my top-choice college, and my mother hissed for me not to flaunt it because Tyler hadn't even bothered to apply. It continued when I launched my business, and they warned it was too risky, only to send me Tyler's resume a year later. It was a million tiny jabs, obligations, and moments where I was useful but never genuinely seen. They'd paint me as dramatic. They always do until next month. When the rent isn't paid, the gas bill goes past due, calls go straight to voicemail, and my mother's grocery card is declined because I took back autonomy as a warning, not a gift. The first 48 hours after the dinner were deafeningly quiet. No calls from my parents, no texts from Tyler, not even a sarcastic emoji from Riley. They'd retreated into their private conference. Fine by me. For the first time in years, I wasn't juggling their finances or decoding passive-aggressive pleas for small favors. I worked, rested, worked again, and even treated myself to Thai food twice. It felt almost peaceful until day 3. An unknown number flashed across my screen. I answered reflexively to my mother, who didn't ask how I was. She dove straight into reproach. "Why cancel the venue? You knew how much Riley loved it." I reminded her she never loved anything I did. A pause, then, "You didn't have to take it so personally. It was just a joke." I asked if she laughed. Nothing. I asked if Tyler laughed. Silence. "You all sat there and let her humiliate me after I gave you something none of you could afford, and no one said a word," I challenged her. "John, you're punishing everyone over one comment," she said. That stung more than Riley's smirk ever could. So I said it. "I'm not punishing anyone. I'm stepping away from people who only value me when I'm writing checks." "That's not true," she countered. "When was the last time you called me just to talk?" She couldn't answer. "We're family," she said finally. I hung up, guilt left me, replaced by a clarity I hadn't felt in years. 2 days later, Tyler texted, "You really canceled the venue over drama? We'll manage without you. Don't bother coming." No apologies, no regrets, just entitlement. Then the rumor mill began, a Facebook post from my mother lamenting unexpected disappointments, an aunt asking why I'd abandoned the wedding. They said you don't like Riley, and me watching from the sidelines as everyone twisted the story. I cut the auto transfers, canceled their grocery card, removed myself from the family plan. No warning, no explanations. Gone. Eventually, my parents reached out. Their pride too big at first, but a voicemail from Dad arrived, accusing me of betrayal, calling me a traitor to my own blood. That stung, but I'd already stopped playing their game. A week later, I scrolled past their backyard ceremony on Facebook, folding chairs, a rented dance floor in Dad's emptied garage, smiles, except for my empty seat. Only Riley's father sent me a message, admitting he saw the receipts and understood. His words, "You're not the villain here," lingered with me. 2 weeks later, Mom called about an electric bill that had tripled. "Can you cover it for this month?" she asked. I reminded her they called me a traitor. "That was just your father's emotions," she said. I told her forgiveness demands accountability. Then I hung up. Tyler's next move was a screenshot of his bank balance, $2,347, with no context, followed by, "Can you spot me rent?" Riley's boutique is slow. I laughed. He's never repaid me for a single thing. Car, laptop, flights. I didn't reply. A few days later, my parents showed up outside my secure building and buzzed me in. I let them up, partly curious how far they'd go. Dad spoke for both of them. Tyler was struggling. Riley had wedding debt. They couldn't hold it together. "Why is that my problem?" I asked. "Because we're family," they said, again. I said I'd been happy to help, until they made it clear my respect didn't matter. Then Dad dropped the bomb. They told Riley's family I was struggling with mental health, claiming that's why I couldn't attend. I was speechless. They fabricated a story to preserve their innocence, framing it as a favor to me. I asked them to leave. As they got up, Mom warned, "You'll regret this." I replied, "I'm not cutting off family. I'm cutting off people who betrayed me." Silence followed. Finally, the silence I'd earned. That weekend, Riley's dad called again, this time directly apologizing for the mental health lie. "You didn't deserve that," he said. I thanked him quietly. He added, "Don't let them rewrite your story." His words stuck with me more than any apology from my own. Over the next weeks, the manipulation ramped up. Dad emailed a family budget spreadsheet listing every overdue bill next to my name. Tyler sent a half-baked fitness app pitch begging for $15,000 for trust. I never responded. Then I received anonymous photos, Tyler arguing with Riley's mom in their driveway, a collapsed wedding tent still standing in the background, followed by whispered threats. "Your silence is louder than their noise." The mystery sender knew more than they should. In the frozen food aisle, I ran into Emily, Riley's younger sister. She stopped me. "They're falling apart without your money. Your silent walkout was the real moment." That confirmation, from someone who witnessed it all, gave me closure. People remember who stands by you and who walks away with dignity. A few days later, LinkedIn notified me that Riley had viewed my profile, the first digital trace from her. Tyler texted, "Riley's leaving. She says she's changed. Don't let this destroy everything." Everything? What was there left to destroy? My parents tried recycling old memories next. A photo of them at a diner, time-stamped months earlier, captioned, "Miss you." I stared at the falseness and felt nothing. Then mid-April, Tyler showed up unannounced at my office, hoodie, shorts, flip-flops, claiming Riley had packed up and left him, taken the dog, and called me a loser. He ended with, "You win." I told him he hadn't won anything. I'd simply stopped fixing what he broke. He left without a word. That night, Mom called. I ignored it. Minutes later, she sent a photo of my childhood bedroom, completely emptied, with the message, "We'll be out by month's end. Hope you're happy." It hit harder than any ultimatum. They weren't homeless because of me. They were homeless because they'd counted on me without ever respecting me. Then another anonymous email. I saw what they did to you. No one else will hold them accountable. No name. No return. That mysterious witness gave me the fiercest sense of vindication. Within a week, I learned my parents had rented a smaller place 30 minutes away. Dad had a part-time hardware gig. Mom was bookkeeping for a cleaning service. Tyler moved back in. Riley had moved on and changed her name on social media, tagging a new boyfriend at a rooftop bar. I didn't feel sorry for him anymore. Finally, Riley's family threw a small reconciliation dinner for my folks and Tyler, again, without inviting me. Emily sent word that Dad of Riley's clan had called out my family's behavior. Mom agreed. Tyler walked out and she told me, "You're not the villain here." That was enough. 1 week later, I ignored Mom's call. She texted, "Your father's health is declining. We're not asking for money, just don't let this be permanent." I didn't respond. I tried to make it temporary. They chose betrayal. Now I relish the silence. Life has returned to a steady hum. I work too much, still no vacation in years, but I'm calmer. My phone buzzes less. No more unspoken expectations. I'm seeing someone, a partner who knows every ugly detail and reminds me that I didn't lose anything big. I simply stopped feeding something that was never mine to sustain. And for the first time in years, I found myself smiling again. Then last week, a plain envelope arrived in my mailbox, a cashier's check for $8,200 with no note, no return address. Too precise to be a mistake. $5,000 deposit, $2,000 photographer, $1,200 starter funds. Whoever sent it, maybe Emily, maybe a conscience-stricken stranger, knew exactly what it meant. I haven't cashed it. Not yet. Because this isn't about the money anymore. It's about the one person who finally made things right.